You mean that great episode that you should have, that everybody else liked?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Anime4ALL podcast. You just heard
Hey,
Spear.
everybody!
We're here to talk
It's
about the
so nice
episode
to
that
hear you.
apparently I hated and everybody else loved. We're just going to get into it. It's not that
Howdy
I.
ho, people.
Oh,
What?
was that it? Or you have more to say? I didn't want to stop you. Like,
What's wrong with
usually.
saying howdy ho? Now you can. Now I can't say. Is there a law against me
No,
saying
I'm
howdy
just
ho?
saying, do you have any more to say? Like,
Jesus,
I thought you had a sentence, but beyond that.
you're so hostile.
But apparently everybody else liked this episode and I didn't. Like, it's not like I hate the episode. It's just like nothing at this point. I'm so like emotionally removed from this show at this point now. I could care less. The demons just being monsters really just took the wind out of my sails, so to speak. Because like this episode didn't
What
help.
about this demon feels monstrous to you?
They keep on saying that they're monsters. Like, they're not anything like they don't seem
If
to
they
they don't
if they
seem to
kept
just
saying they're
go.
hot dogs, would you believe that?
Huh?
If they kept saying that they're hot dogs, would you believe that they were hot dogs? Would you be like, I want to eat them, and then bite your computer screen and hurt yourself because you thought it was a hot dog, or would you like think about it a little bit? Hey Metroid, if you're still here,
Are you projecting? Did you try eating a computer screen when you were a child?
well played, sir. Um, I'm just talking about. Um,
No, I get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, it's like they've already confirmed that Frieren was right about them. I guess for me, it's like
confirmed.
Aura's the dude that Fern killed. He already said it. He said that Fern was like Frieren was right about us. So he said this in an episode earlier, during like after Frieren was put in jail. I'm just saying like I don't know. It just for me is like I want there to be more. And so far, it seems like Frieren is just one shotting these guys. Granted, I guess with Aura, as you so plainly put it, was a zero shot. Um,
I want you to convince me, like that she's not, uh, like that there's not human traits in this demon.
what's her being a monster with her having human traits? It just to me like this demon didn't really act any different. I mean, it clearly didn't understand that. I guess it was feeling fear. I mean, Aura didn't understand she was feeling fear or something like that. I just like I don't know the way they kept and Flama this episode too was adding on to it of like how they're this and that and that like they're no better. Like they don't understand that suppressing their magic power um would be advantageous for them in a fight, but that's because
I
of their
feel like you're not
society.
talking about. Sorry, I feel like you're not answering my question. Like, I'm saying, like, what makes you think that the demon doesn't have human traits right now? Like, what about this gives you that vibe?
I mean, she didn't seem to understand that she was feeling fear or whatever. Like she didn't respond to a lot of the what her body was telling her. And on top of that, all she really did was confirm what Flami said was right. All they care about is all they care about is their mana standing. It didn't seem like she was understanding anything about what was happening. To me, it wasn't. It just like it just like the whole entire encounter disappointed me because it didn't seem like she stood a chance. And at this point, every single demon that's come up in this thing has been straight up fodder. None of them have really been important. None of them have given Frieren a run for her money. Aura could
Okay,
have,
that's
but
different. How difficult they are to kill is different than whether or not they're monsters, correct? Like mindless monsters, correct?
no, I would feel like that would be hand in hand. I mean, monsters are just monsters.
What would like
They can straight up kill them
what would
easily.
make what traits would make something seem like it was a real thing, like a real living creature, like thinking sensitive being? Like what would it need to have to fit that criteria for you?
I mean, I guess having a like
It's
a
not a
real
trauma fantasy.
having a real conversation with Frieren, it doesn't seem like any of that ever has happened. I mean, everything else they deny. I'm not going to deny. I mean, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to deny that she didn't display any of those traits of humanity within her. But here's the
Mhm,
thing: Frieren and her master kept on calling them monsters. Like, that doesn't really
mhm,
mean much if they're not going against the grain
mhm.
of like what apparently clearly what humanity has seen them. Because there's no way they don't know humanity sees them this way. Like, I find that very hard to believe that they don't know that. I'm saying so far they've done nothing but prove that Freeman's view on them is correct. They do nothing but kill, and they do it without mercy. I get that humans do that kind of, but it's like they have a plan, and they don't exactly just go in there and massacre everybody unless there is a plan involved. These
Okay.
demons don't seem to care that much.
Are you so I'm having difficulty following you. Are you saying that the demons don't care about having a plan? What are you saying? I'm sorry.
It's like they do just they do just what am I saying distributed for? They do display human qualities, but like, it's not enough to the point where I can sit there and say that they're nothing but monsters. Like at this point, mindless beasts. Like even with them talking with Frieren, it doesn't seem like Frieren even cares that much. She literally views them as monsters. I mean, even with that whole idea of like her losing a village, doesn't really change the fact that she still views them in that way. Like I guess what I'm looking for in terms of like I guess for them to not for me not to classify them as just a mindless beast. Is if they were to
Mhm.
have a coherent conversation with her, maybe trying to convince her to think a little bit differently about them, even if it still led to her killing them. At the very least, leaving Frieren thinking about everything. They've done nothing. Every single one of them. Fern's killed one of them. Stark has killed one of them.
Mhm.
Frieren slaughtered one. I think so far they've done nothing but prove that the view, the bottle that Frieren views them in, they fill from top to bottom or bottom to top.
So we are learning that they have, over the last few episodes, we've learned that they have a sort of society, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that their society um, doesn't value wealth per se, it's certainly not as a status symbol. And for them, magic is their status symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that they have a culture. They have a culture that is built, where ours is built around wealth, and wealth being a source of decisions about whether or not someone should be leading them and stuff like that. Um, Instead of doing that, we have a culture that's built around um, how strong your magic is, and I'm assuming other things related to your magic. And we know that not just from the most recent demons, but even that first demon that like was locked away for 1,000 years or whatever. We kind of know that from that one too, because that was that demon was very very proud about the magic he'd invented. Remember, we know that they have an equivalent of to science, because they're talking about how they collectively get together and develop magic, and you know what I mean. And they have a little bit of a sense of history, even because we know that they he knew, like he's like, we figured out how to get away from that type of magic. I forget what he said, 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that demon killing magic doesn't work on demons. He was talking to Fern. They don't care a lot about preserving the lives of one another, for sure, but they don't like the wastefulness of it. We know that. We know that like she does that like when the first character goes to kill Frieren in the cell, he's like, "Oh, he's a fool," and they're a little bit annoyed. And then Aura thinks it's a waste as well when she finds out that Frieren killed someone. So there's like, they're not like unaware of each other or anything like that. They're not just like drones working next to each other or something. It's not like a droid army. Like they have a social thing that involves relationships. In fact, they even have children. So there's like enough of a societal thing where they have children. They might abandon their children upon birth, but they do have children. And even the demons that aren't humanoid, we've seen wolf-like demons that operate in packs and stuff like that. So there's like a whole like ecology to like the demons. They're not just one type of thing. They're like a whole branch of things. And along with that, the show has been working very hard to blur the lines between Frieren and a demon. Do you know what I mean? Because Frieren has very many demon-like traits, or sort of flat, emotionless personality. She finds the demons very relatable when she talks to them. Like they compare notes on their strategies and magic. You know what I mean? And Frieren seems to be compelled to talk about that with them for at least a little while. I mean, she's never in danger, so it makes sense that she might as well just do what's most interesting for her, but they don't know that. So there's things like that. But furthermore, when Aura the Guillotine died in this episode, we saw her looking horrified about her fate. You know what I mean? Like she was pretty upset about how things played out. So I would even go so far as to say that like they know fear. Do you know what I mean? They know horror. They know amusement. They do seem amused at times. They know confidence. They have ego problems. Like they have some character flaws involved in things. Different levels of intelligence, different levels of impulsivity. They're not. I'm going to be careful about this, but they're aware of the word of like the concept of honor. Do you know what I mean? That he calls them out and says like, they call Frieren out and say like, or they call Frieren and Fern out and say that like, you use trickery when you're fighting. Like there's no honor in that. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So there's a certain type of like degree of honor involved in what's going on as well. So I would say that like, I'd say that pretty much every creature we've come across so far has had some personality traits that are not inconsistent with humans. Are they kind? No. I don't think we expected them to be kind. Like what are you missing that you need from them right now that's not there yet?
I mean, well, I like to them to fight the whole idea that they're monsters. I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't believe that they're monsters. I'm just saying, so far they have like every time there's been I guess a characterization of them, they haven't steered from it. Like even Flamme had Frieren's old master, and I get probably a half the reason why Frieren believes the way he believes the things that she does is because of her master. I'm not gonna fight that. But at the same time, it's like they haven't really proven Flamme wrong, like at all. Like I would like for them to at least prove that these characterizations are wrong. They kind of enjoy being characterized as monsters. I mean, yeah, they can talk and they could, but like again, it's like according to Frieren, and they haven't. They said that she was right, that they used their tongue to deceive. Like I guess it's like I don't know. It's just I would like something like a challenge Frieren's mindset, not physically, just challenge her mind in general. about them, but it doesn't seem like they're. I get that they had no real reason to, because why Frieren ain't gonna listen to them. But it's like, I mean, at least try. None of them seem to even care to try. They display every other emotion. I'm not saying they need to display kindness. Just like they don't seem all that interesting enough to, I don't know, to like keep like having every single one of them show up. Because I mean, you believe that the other generals that the Demon King are still around. I had no real reason to believe that. Because like I don't know why they would leave them alive, especially if they chased down Aura, and the only reason Aura's alive is because she got away. Tells me they had that chased down the other demon lords, right? There's no way they would have left him alive. Even without the king, it's like I feel like they're still as dangerous, and Aura's proven that she can be dangerous. So it's like, I don't know, like to me it's like I don't know why, like the only reason the Aura's around is because she got away. For me to believe that there are other demons that are more powerful than her that are going to display more of those other traits or whatever like that, I just find it kind of hard to believe. I don't really have a reason to believe it. Not saying that they won't. It's just that I don't know why they still be alive. I feel like again, it's like Aura. I think Aura only got away because she tricked Frieren, and I gotta say that's a feat in among itself that somebody got away from Frieren. But again, it's like with that being in mind, I still find it hard to believe the other demon lords got away. If they did, jeez, like Frieren's like not as like observant as I thought she was, but to me, Aura just still proved to be fodder. She wasn't really that dangerous. Was I expecting her to to defeat Frieren or like really catch her into like nose? But I was expecting there to at least be a comparable fight. And I get that Aura wasn't really looking for a fight; she was looking for submission. So I mean, I guess I could just like say, okay, maybe I shouldn't to be harsh on her, but I just like I don't know. The fight to me kind of went the way I was expecting it. It's just like she was gonna win. Like I was hoping Aura was gonna at least prove that Frieren's wrong about demons, but nope, didn't at all. Just again another situation where now Aura's dead and Frieren is allowed to keep on living, thinking demons are scum of the earth. I'd like for them to fight that whole thought process, so at least Frieren could think about maybe she's wrong, but nope.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like why I'm sticking up for the fact that it seems more complicated to me than just that, you know what I mean? Like I get the vibe that like there's more to this than just the demons are mindless attacking beasts. Like I think they're making them more I think they're making them more complicated than you. I think the characters in the story are incorrect about their opinion about the demons.
I mean, I wish I could believe, but at the same time, they haven't done anything. I mean, you're saying you're finding reasons to, and I'm not faulting you for any of that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just for me, it's just like I'm believing what they're saying because demons really have no reason to really lie about themselves. I would think not. I mean, of course, anybody can lie. I'm not naive enough to
What are the demons saying that would straight out say that they're monsters? The demons don't think they're monsters. The demons think they're demons.
Demons are monsters. I'm just saying, like Aura's. I think her head guy. I forgot his name. But he confirmed that Frieren was right about her characterization of them being monsters. He said that. I mean, a couple episodes ago. He didn't say this episode or the last episode, but he did say a couple episodes ago. I think it was after she attacked him and didn't do anything to him. But even like the guard guy saying that Frieren was right. It just like a lot of people seem to have this idea. And yeah, they could be wrong, but I still kind of find it hard to believe because like you're saying, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like I find it really hard to believe, like because like the only other thing I could think is they had to come up with a whole new demon to show up that they're still evil, whatever, but like they can prove Frieren's thought process on them is wrong. But it's like even with that, that'd be kind of a stretch, and I still don't believe that the other demons are alive. Granted, the way Aura before she died spoke, it sounded like maybe some of them are, but I don't know. It just really weird. Like, why in the world? Like, why is it that? I guess I can understand like why would Aura be the only one still alive, but at the same time, I could fight that with she got away. Oh, like Frieren slipped up there. I don't think she would have slipped up on the other ones. Like, but or if or whoever was supposed to kill them slipped up on them. Like Himmel seemed confident. So did Eisen, and well, I don't think the monk. I don't think the drunk pastor was a fighter. I think he was more of a healer. I think. Um, so I don't know any other demon they could probably. I mean, they have to make a whole new one, or say that somehow the other ones got away this entire time, and they just been hidden. It seems insane. Because I mean, like, why didn't Frieren go after them? She's powerful enough. Like, I don't know, I just, to me, I find it really hard to believe that they're all the other ones from her time as traveling are still around. If they are, I mean, I'm not gonna be disappointed by them being around. They'll probably have a good explanation. But it's just like, I don't know. Still in the whole, like, I don't know. Like, I find it, like, so far, like, Aura hasn't really changed my mind or filled me with confidence. She was cool to have around. I'm not saying she was a bad character. But it was just like, she didn't really do much to change my mind. Tell Chrissy I said hi
Except
back.
that she had fear and she had flaws. Like she was overconfident and she was understood that Frieren might be bluffing. So she was like committed to herself and like I don't know, like they still developed a character with her. She wasn't the greatest character in the world, but she hey again Metroid. She wasn't the greatest character in the world, but it is a character, you know what I mean? And it's the whole point of her is that she's not the final boss. So it's not so important to me that she's not acting like the final boss. You know what I mean? We're still establishing what a badass Farron is here.
I'm not asking her to be the final boss. I'm just asking her to prove Frieren wrong. Or like, I was like, because like we've had like 4 demons up to this point. Wait, is it 4? I think it was 4. We've had 4 demons show up, and like the first one proves he's nothing but a bloodthirsty beast. Going after Frieren in jail, gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
Frieren runs because she doesn't want to deal with the the policy of the village, rightfully so. The other guys go after and attack Fern and Stark, still proving her right. While the big guy with the blood demon art literally is saying like, they're right to think of us as bloodthirsty monsters. It is like, even with the whole ideas, like you talking about they're overconfident. Aren't all demons that way though? Wasn't that said too? It was like, I don't know if that can be a characteristic you can define specifically with her. I thought they're all supposed to be overconfident.
It's starting to look that way. We don't know for sure, but it's starting to look that way for sure. But in the defense, I can't believe I'm saying this sentence, but in the defense of the demons, Fern hasn't left any survivors to warn the others that like shit's going down, And Aura could see her aura, and the aura did not look threatening. The aura looked fine, and so it doesn't completely not make sense that she would feel like, well, for the last 500 years, I've won every single thing I've tried to do, hands down. I see no reason to think I'm going to lose this one. Like, why would I lose this one? I've won every single one for the last 500 years, and I can see her aura, and I'm not impressed. It looks like something I can totally take on. I've checked to see if the aura is suspicious, and it doesn't seem to be because it's not fluctuating in the way that people that are disguising their aura show it. You know what I mean? So I think it's fair to say that I think it's fair to say that she's like, from her, with the information she has to work with, it's not outrageous to feel like she has a reason to be confident. She's won the last 500 battles that she's been in. She's got an army at her side. Frieren is alone. She's seen her in the past, and Frieren was using flashy spells and acting irresponsibly. She checked her aura, and her aura is just as big as it was back then. And back then, she went up against the whole party and got away alive. So she doesn't have a reason to not be confident. She's overconfident, which is Friren's strength is she's never overconfident so far. We think, and she's also never been in danger. But like, why not? Why wouldn't she feel the way she felt?
Sorry, I needed to respond to Metroid in chat. I just typed it out.
It's okay. I saw her. I was going to answer her too, but I didn't want to interrupt you if you were going to say something.
And again, I'm not saying she doesn't have a reason to not be overconfident. I just like I was just hoping. Because again, I'm not looking for an overpowered enemy to fight. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I know that she's not meant to be the final boss. I know that. I just want that to be clear. Like, for people to think that's what I was expecting. No. Like what I was hoping for was some, like, you know, I guess not truly a mental fight, more like if like with Frieren's idea, because like Frieren was like letting Aura know with no like sweetener in between, that she despises them, and she has this very much really bad view on them, while she has the right to. I'm not saying Frieren doesn't have the right to have this view on them.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, Metroid. I'm in the middle of saying what I gotta say. Crap. Yeah, she has a right to be angry because her entire village was destroyed, and apparently she fought off one of the Demon King's people. That was information that we did not know until just now, but she had a hand in defeating one of them when she was really young. But at the same time, I was just hoping for something to circumvent her thought of that, causing Frieren to think a little bit differently about them. And maybe it's too early for that. But at the same time, I would have loved to at least have some hint that maybe Frieren was, fighting with something in her mind about these guys. But not only did that not happen, not only was she proven right again, this demon didn't do anything in her defense to help circumvent that. Like, yeah, she begged for her life, but I don't really know. I mean, anything that has a voice could do that. Even with the society thing, don't like animals do that too? I mean, not on the same level as humans. That's for sure. Like, don't.
Do you think that Frieren? This is going to sound like a crazy take, probably, but don't you think that Frieren's opinion of the demons is shaped by the fact that they destroyed her entire people?
That's crazy. No, but like, it's a piece of that, but it's also a piece of Flamme. Flamme, I mean, if you remember correctly, when Flamme found her, yeah, Frieren had already hated them because they just walked up in her village and destroyed them all. The demons, one of them dead. We'll probably find out more about that later. Demons, one of them dead, and Frieren was the only one to survive. So she already had an ill-shaped view. I'm not saying that she didn't, but I feel like it was also fueled by her master's view. Her master kept on feeding this view into her, telling her this and that. Like Flamme didn't. Another thing is, like, Flamme didn't help either. Like, in terms of, like, she also had a view. Granted, she was much older than Frieren. I understand that. She's dealt with him a lot more. She's even said that she's dealt with this a lot more. She literally plays the fool in her magic ability just so that they approach her. It just, like, I don't know. I was just hoping that at least maybe Aura, based off the comment that Frieren said that, oh, I forgot that you were a demon or something like that. She makes a comment like she was enjoying talking to her. I'm not saying that didn't happen. It just, like, I feel like I really wanted that to really try to be pulled in more, but that didn't happen. to me, as I said in that comment, is like, to me, this entire episode just kind of felt like she was fodder. Like, she didn't really need to be there. Like, I think that that group of undead would probably done just as good as she would have. But that's just freaking me. I mean, like, maybe I'm looking too far into something that I don't need to be looking too far into at this very moment. And I will admit that, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm not looking for a really powerful enemy. I'm not looking for any of that. I'm just like, give me a freaking notable character from the enemy side. They don't need to live forever. It's just like,
I think the problem with the characters that we're coming across is more that like they're only there for like 10 freaking seconds, you know what I mean, before they get wiped out. I think that once we get past that, I think once we get past that, the characters have time to have a little bit of a personality. Right now, they come in, they have this preconceived notion that's based on information. They look at her and they say, "Hey, here's this this being that I'm in a combat situation with." My favorite, by the way. I love being in combat situations. And this being is here to kill me. I've read her energy, which doesn't seem sus at all and is very, very low compared to mine. I'm going to enjoy this. Like, this is exactly what I'm here to do, and I'm going to enjoy this. And she can't convince me that I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I came here to get, you know?
I guess I just really, because I feel like I really just want a really smart enemy now, because like Frieren's gotten her way so often, and I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to, because she's really powerful. She's like level 100 mage at this point in her life. But I just like, I would really, like I would really enjoy it if the, like, again, it's like I find it as a part of the reason why I find it really difficult to believe. It's just like, again, Frieren is this powerful. They've shown us she's powerful. She isn't bluffing. She's been around for a long time. She was around for a good like 50, 60 years before Himmel even came across her, I think. So it was like she studied some magic up to that point because of Flamme. So like to me, it's like, okay, if this is happening and their goal is for Demon King, even Flamme brought this up to her as a possibility. These guards that you know Frieren, we at least know she's really familiar with them. We've seen two of them by now, the dude that she froze and then also the girl that she just killed. So we know that she's familiar with these guys. I find it difficult for me to believe that the others got away and they're just hiding, waiting for Frieren to show up around there. Like, and somebody says like, but Aura got away. Yeah, she got away, and it sounds like it was a hard thing for her to do. But can you imagine somebody getting away from Frieren? Like, that doesn't seem like it's a possibility. Unless something happened and Frieren's attention was taken away. That thing is impossible.
Well, you know that Aura got away from Frieren.
You said that.
I'm sorry, not Aura. Aura got away from Frieren, and also the female demon that fought Stark, also got away from Frieren.
I thought that demon was the first time she met Frieren. You say she was there a long time ago?
Okay, so you know what? This is not fair to you. She didn't verbally make. She did verbally make a reference to having fought her in the past, but they do show at 1825. You know when they flash those little images for a second.
Is an image of her fighting Frieren?
If I set the speed to the lowest one that it allows, like half speed, and I went through like 4 times because I wanted to see all the images. And if you go in there and you check them, you can see that you can see a moment where they're all fighting Aura.
I believe you. I don't really trying to find all that specifics. Like once I believe you. I feel like there was definitely a moment that I didn't see or something, or to get a clear view of. I believe you. I mean, honestly, like Aura. I mean, not Aura, but her gang. I mean, that tall dude, the one that didn't get killed by Frieren, said that he had met her and nearly met his end to her. So I guess it's like,
Mhm.
actually, I wonder how he got away.
I took care of that spammer for you. Oh, you did too.
No, I didn't. That was
Okay.
actually, that was you. That wasn't me. I thought Rye was going to be here, but I guess Rye must have left. Okay,
That's okay.
no problem. Wait, what's this? Plump bad
I
lady.
reported them and then banned them for you.
Plump band leader. You just reported the plump band leader. I don't know what that's about.
Plump band leader came in and was dropping links and had a suspicious user ban evasion thing. So I just went ahead and took it
No,
out
I
for
get
you.
what you're saying. Like, you just reported a plump band leader. I don't know. You just apparently reported the plumpest band leader.
Oh yeah.
But okay, back to that. I'm not saying you don't have points. It's just for me, like I think I'm already jaded from earlier. So like I'm trying to fight through that right now, and like it's just like Aura being
Like what if
Aura
this is
being
a very this is a very popular series, so I'm having faith in it partially because it's very popular. I think that it's possible we hit a situation where like we learn about the origin of these demons, like maybe they were created by elves or elves turned into them. Given that they keep emphasizing how similar they are and that they both are so far across the board more powerful than other creatures at magic. It's like I think we're going to learn more about the demons. I think that they're just building up to it right now. They're showing us that Frieren is crazy, like crazy powerful. They're showing us that Frieren acts calm and collected right now, at least partially, because she is always 100% in control of her situation. But we see, and also that like her thing that like time just really doesn't mean that much to her. So like she can also things that would be a crisis to us are less of a crisis to her because time is just not a big deal to her. Like if they're like, oh, you're going to jail for 3 years, she's like, cool, bring me a book. You know what I mean? But I think, and we've seen that she's way more powerful than anyone that she's come up against so far. I think that when that starts going away later in the series and we start learning more about what's actually happening in these shows, like I think we're going to see like different things come up. You know what I mean? I think we just haven't seen the whole story yet. Like I think things are going to start happening as the story continues to develop. So I think, have you ever heard the phrase warming up the gong?
I know you said warming up the gong, but I literally heard the phrase warming up the dong, and I was like,
We can warm that up too if you really want.
Like, what's happening here?
If you just walk up to a gong and hit it, it does not make a very good sound. The gong needs to be warmed up. Like you need to tap it gently a few times before you come in for the big blow. So warming up the gong is also sort of a metaphor, and for some people, of getting ready for the big strike. Like that, it's not all something you do in one step. That you have to warm it up first.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Demons being elves, though, which is really weird. But I guess they could try it if it makes sense. I guess a part of me, like I get what you're saying, they're not trying to blow their load at once, and I get all that. I respect that, but at the same time, I guess for me, it's like they introduce these enemies, and it's like okay, they're just fodder. Now, what is happening here? There doesn't seem to be anything that can stop her. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say they're not gonna introduce something that will eventually be a problem. That's not usually how shows work. But and it's like a nut, and it's like it's and at the same time, it's like I'm not expecting her to run into a situation that's going to be a problem, and I do trust the process with that in regard. It's just I'm a little disappointed with the at least when they introduced them, like because at first I wasn't anticipating demons in the first place. Like they kind of came out of left field when they got introduced. I was like, excuse. why are they here? Because I had in the back of my mind like, okay, well, if you defeat the king, demons really shouldn't be a problem. If anything, they shouldn't even really appear. Because I mean, I don't think they would
Mhm.
want to deal with Frieren. She's the most powerful mage in existence right now. So it's like, why bother getting themselves killed? So like, I don't think it would be a problem. But I guess at the same time, with that mindset, I didn't really think too much about, okay, what were they going to introduce? And I guess it seems like so far they're really sticking with this demon thing because we've spent a while here now with all of them. Um, I don't know. I was hoping for more. At first, I was anticipating a nice demon that kind of went out the window really quickly. I'm over that, but I'm just like, I wanted more from them, and so far they've been, like you said, they've just kind of been here and then poof, they're gone. I'm like, why should I care? Like why do I need? Like I feel like, why should I attach myself to any of them? And I don't think that's the point of these characters. But at the same time, I was like, I don't. Are they gonna introduce something like a demon that's gonna be on par with her? I can't imagine why, other than maybe a demon that she's encountered before. But even then, the only way they could do that would make any sense in a story perspective is it would have to be one of the guards, one of the demon guards. But again, I'm still on the thing of like, there's no way they're around. But then I also fight with that with like Aura got away, but it was like, yeah, Aura got away, so I'm not sure. I don't. I guess it's like, how did Aura get away? It doesn't seem like that's possible if Frieren's as bloodthirsty as they're claiming she is. If they go out of their way,
I
and
mean, my guess would be that they were fighting a bunch of enemies at once, and some of them scattered. In the little still that they show you, and I really wish Crunchyroll just let you take a freaking screenshot. In the little still they show you, it looks like all four of them were just on her like at the same time. And if you look at that still, if you look at the still, it makes no sense that she survived.
the Frieren or Aura.
Aura.
Oh,
It still makes it. If you go to 1825 and you put it at half speed, and you click pause and play and pause and play and pause and play until you catch the still, they are like they're going. All four of them are on her at once, and they're like kicking the crap out of her, and it just doesn't. It doesn't work. That it's going down that way. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
she probably had a spell to get away. But I had to say, to me, it's like, okay, if all four of them on, it's even more incredible feat that she got away. But even with that
I
being
think
said, it's just,
I think any one or two, even back then, I feel like any one or two of them would have taken her out. So I don't know. I don't understand why all four of them were squaring off on her and it's not mattering. But that seemed to be the situation.
I did, with the way they made it seem like they said they kind of blamed Frieren for why she got away, like because they said she got away from Frieren. She didn't say she got away from the other three. It's shocking to hear that. I think I do remember that image you're talking about, like the still frame of that. I think I do
They
remember her
flashed them
being
so fast that you
guarded.
really can't. They flash them so fast that you probably, I would imagine most people see one of them and process one of them, and then that's all they get out of it, unless they rewind. But all four of them are shown. You know what I mean? But I feel like you don't have time in your brain to do more than process one of them.
It's also pop. I mean, it's the plan. I don't know if she had the scales at the time, but I'm guessing she did because Frieren knows a lot about the scales, and so does she. There's no way she just got the scales and learned all that by and learned all that. Considering that she also has I guess I don't know how she got away. She got away somehow. They'll never explain it, but unless Frieren tells you, but like they make it seem like she got away because of Frieren. That's a part of me. But again, even we're erasing that, it's like with how bloodthirsty they claim that she was, it just seems ridiculous that anything survived. This is kind of like why I find it difficult to believe that any of the guards got away. Now it's possible. And maybe they're gonna go this route. Maybe these guys had like apprentices. I mean, Frieren's got her own apprentice, and so does Eisen. Does it say the demons didn't think that maybe they needed one too? Granted, again, with their whole, them not really valuing anything more than mana as power, they probably wouldn't just train, younger the next generation. maybe something changed. I don't know. I guess maybe if that happened and that change that happened within them, maybe that's what I'm looking for. But at the same time, like that's just a guess right now. There's no proof that they're doing this at all.
Yeah,
And I hope that all got through because the mic is kind of far away from me.
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, but I guess all I can really say is like I'm just a little bit jaded from all that earlier. I'm trying to keep an open mind, so I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna be this way the entire show. I still want to watch it.
Uh-huh.
I still want to watch it. That's what I want to get through. All the complaining that I am doing, ugh, I still want to watch it. I know Flame had that thing with Frieren and she found her. I do find that interesting too that Flame just happened to be walking by a village. I mean, that's typically how it always happens in any fantasy. Some character just happens to be walking by a village that's being attacked by a monster, and they save it. But it's intriguing that Flame just happened to be walking near a village being attacked by demons. Like I'm not saying Flame had anything to do with it, but it was just interesting that she happened to be walking by.
Are you just perchance? Are you asking that because you read the Reddit post on this?
No, why? Did something happen in the Reddit post about that?
The Reddit post that was reviewing the interview. One of the questions, the person that posted always posts some questions at the top. One of the questions that was posted was, "Is this was this a coincidence or was it not?" So it was just funny that you asked the exact same thing.
Okay, well, I mean, since we're on the topic, do you have any notes you want to go over first, or?
Sure. I don't have about half as many as last time, although I spent longer looking at this episode than the last one.
So I guess I'll just go over really quick. Oh, you already got your notes. Never mind.
Yeah, I have them in front of me, but why? Did you have something you'd love to say?
I was about to talk about like that Flame thing. I just had a few thoughts about that. I mean, and it's just all hypothetical. I'll just say it really quickly. Doesn't necessarily need to be discussed if you don't want to discuss it. But well, now you brought that up, and I was mostly just joking, but at the same time, it did cross my mind. Sometimes in these shows, typically the main character, and again, it goes to the whole idea that Flame is a part of the reason why Frieren does think about the demons this way. It had crossed my mind because like there's a little girl in the intro that they keep on flashing on screen from the intro, like this little song that I've seen, and hasn't really been shown at any point in the show yet, which is interesting. Like a little tiny girl who I'm guessing might be a demon. She kind of resembles Flame a little bit, which would be really freaking weird. But I'm just gonna say that that's mostly just me overthinking it. But it would be interesting if maybe Flame is the big bad and we just don't know it yet. And I don't know how they would make that happen. But I mean, it's interesting.
Well, weren't they going to go talk to Flame at one point? I guess if they brought her back, something could come out of that.
Well, they're gonna go to the. They weren't gonna bring her back. They were looking for a way to like. Crap. What's his name? Hyder was looking for a way to circumvent death for a little bit so he can stay and live with Fern, and he was hoping that in Flame's text there was talks of immortality. Frieren thought, and this is before we even knew Frieren knew who Flame was, thought told him after she had done all the research that nothing's in here, and if she did know about it, you don't think she would have used it on herself? Was what was said. So Frieren thinks that Flame is dead. Not that there's anything saying that she is dead. I will say though, I guess on that topic really quick, is it's interesting that Flame's magic is still existing. No one's ever really asked about that, and I find that more intriguing too. Is I thought the magic would have went with the person after they died, but whatever. But to me, it's if Flame has something to do with the ending of this show, it'd be interesting because I mean, typically they don't do that kind of thing where the master becomes the villain. In certain shows, they line it up like that, where the master does become the villain. It's probably the biggest plot twist of the entire show, because they don't show that they may be evil till near the end of the show's run. But if she is, good lord, that's gonna mess Frieren up for the rest of her life. Like, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, the whole idea that Flamme just happened to be walking by, I just wrote it off as like, this is typically fantasy. Sometimes you're walking by a village, there's always going to be an attack on something. But I will say it was interesting that Flamme just happened to be walking by Frieren's village, and a demon attack was going on. It's like,
Mhm.
that is, it got to be coincidence, but I wouldn't put it off the creator did that on purpose. That's all I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
but on the other hand, there's a story being put together little by little in that seems to be kind of a narrative that's being built. Flamme seems to be the type of person that makes long-term plans. Like um, she doesn't just cast a barrier; she casts a barrier that lasts for 1,000 years. She doesn't just cast a spell. She integrates it with like a tree that's going to be there in 1,000 years. Um, I don't know. There's a sense that there's a sense that given that the actions that we've seen her do have always been built to last. I'm going to create this spell, and it's going to be centered around a tree, and the tree is going to be there in 1,000 years when you come back, or this barrier is going to protect these people for basically all time. Stuff like that. So I get the vibe that she saw Frieren as another potential for a long-term strategy.
That's weird to take an elven girl that you don't know is gonna really make it.
But she came across. She's like, here is a elven girl with nowhere to go and nothing in particular to do right now because everybody she knows is dead. And this elven girl has a lot of potential, and she's going to live a whole hell of a lot longer than I am. Like, I'm going to be old and gray, and she's going to look like she hasn't aged a day. And 1,000 years after that, when these great and powerful spells I've been putting into place are gone, she's still going to look like she hasn't aged a day. And there must be a feeling that this is another opportunity to continue my goal of doing various good deeds. And I say good deeds instead of genocide of the demons because like she's not wholly like focused on the genocide of the demons. Like there's this there's also this feeling that she wants Frieren to remember the good things in life because like the last spell she teaches her is one that fills a field with flowers. You know what I mean? And you see her also seem to care about whether or not she loves magic. Like one of the last conversations she had with her, she's like, so do you love magic? And she's like, sort of, you know what I mean? Which is really interesting because that's the same conversation Frieren has with Fern a couple episodes ago. But that feeling that Flamme is like trying to impart wisdom on her as well as just kind of be there, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Really quick before you do typing your notes, I think you probably want to, and your medicine's kicking in. But for a minute there, as you were talking, I thought you were insinuating that you think Flamme might actually be evil, and I sat there for a minute. I was like, is he actually going with this? Is he really thinking Flamme? And then you took left, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. You're just saying
No,
that she has
I
a
don't
really weird plan with
Frieren.
Frieren.
The fact that she keeps doing these long-term things to help people, I'm going to create a barrier that's going to protect your city for 1,000 years. I'm going to plant this tree that will preserve for 1,000 years. You know what I mean? Because we rescued a baby tree that that we found in the snow. Do you remember? So there's these acts of kindness and nurturing. Like, I'm going to teach my final lesson to you. I've got enough life in me to teach you one more thing. You know what I mean? So, what is it going to be, Master? Is it going to be, am I going to learn how to make someone immortal? Am I going to learn, what I mean, how to create a mountain of gold with one word? She's like, I'm going to teach you how to fill a field with flowers. I'd like to be remembered with flowers, and it's going to, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be my last gift. You know what I mean, to you, to learn this spell of flowers. I think that's pretty awesome. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. But I think that shows a sign of a desire to spread goodness and wisdom and things like that, and not just be a douche.
I guess like no, I guess my mind's kind of changed a little bit. I mean, not all in aura, but now I brought up that demon girl or whatever she is in the outro, and you're thinking, there's an ultimate plan. I guess maybe that's what I need to look towards, is like that character that I'm seeing that there's been no revelation of her yet. I think it's a girl. I don't know. It might be a guy for all I know. Can't tell the difference sometimes in these shows. Yeah, I guess that's what I gotta look for. Is like maybe that's the ultimate goal. What's happening? But again, I don't really know if that's what she is. If she's a demon and she's gonna be important for later, because she's got a smug look in her face. So I guess maybe there's more to her, and I just gotta look towards that. But I guess also, like, are you so you're saying that you believe that Flame walking by that village was a complete coincidence?
I think that Flame was bound to come across something like that sooner or later, if she's following the demons long enough.
You don't think that she's got some evil ulterior motive just hidden in the back that maybe it's waiting to? I mean, because you said she's playing the long game. I mean, it wouldn't be too ridiculous to believe that she's got some very long game, especially if she believes.
I don't think anything for sure. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know what's happening in the future episodes, but other than the fact that it would be a very, very drastic twist in the plot, why would that be happening? Like, what things have been put in place? Like, what plot elements have been put in place to suggest that might be what's going to happen?
Well, here's the thing. I said this earlier, that this has been done before, where a character you weren't anticipating being the bad guy ends up showing that they might actually be bad. And again, there's another thing too. Is like, yeah, nothing has been shown so far that Flame is evil. She's more eccentric than anything else. Like, but it's like at the same time, she still fed the things into Frieren about the demons and stuff like that. To me, it's like, I feel it wouldn't be too far-fetched that she would use that against her maybe later if Flame were to just randomly come back. I don't think she would. A part of me really doesn't think that she's ever gonna come back, and if she does, she's gonna come back in flashbacks, which she's already done multiple times now. So like, and if anything, if she does come back in the well, not in the flesh, but in any kind of form, it'd probably be spirit when they make it to the destination where they're trying to see the spirits of the people that have passed. Because a part of me believes that she's gonna see Himmel, but she's also gonna see Flame. But it's like she's gonna be shocked that she sees Flame. And again, I'm waiting for the whole took you long enough and cut to black. I think is what I'm anticipating. But again, it'd be interesting because I've seen that whole. I mean, in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, they kind of do this where like one of the main good guys, quote unquote, he's very helpful to the main characters, the brothers, for the most part throughout the freaking show. But you don't realize that he's a homunculus, which is like one of the evil entities in that world. You don't realize he's a homunculus until like one time he accidentally slips up and you happen to see him. You see him do something you didn't think he was capable of doing, and you find out later on he's actually one of the sons of the main big bad of the freaking thing. And you realize that he's been here the entire time. Every single thing that you've seen him do, like even though it wasn't like it wasn't a red herring, when you find out that he's actually been working for the bad guy the entire time, you realize how screwed everybody is. So I just feel like this is one of those situations where, like, with how much Flame herself has done for the world, it'd be the biggest plot twist, like you said before, that like she's actually been evil the entire time, and like she's been waiting for something, whatever that is, because she's shown that she's not afraid to wait. Though I will say, I don't think she's ever been I don't think she's ever been wanting for immortality. So again, I say, oh, that's hypothesis. I think she did just kind of run across, as you said before, she was bound to run across a village. It's just interesting. She ran across an elven village where the demons were attacking, and they run across.
I wonder how many elven villages are left at that point.
I don't know what the way Frieren was talking last 2 episodes ago. Doesn't sound like there's a lot of them left. You know,
if any.
Like it's just that there should be some around, but they're so few and far between. They barely run into each other.
I would imagine that Frieren hasn't ruled out that there is other elves out there, but that she's not for sure positive that there are.
I don't think Frieren's interested.
But what I'm saying is, if you were if she was hard pressed, I think she would not know for sure if any other elves existed.
Man, I'm pretty sure she's not sure, but I guess at the same time she also is certain. But then again, it's like we did learn apparently, you know, which is interesting. She didn't let this slip. The demons let slip that they were told to kill the elves. So I don't know, like, with that information, maybe a lot of them are dead. Maybe most of them are. Maybe that's why there are so. Maybe we're gonna find out later on that Frieren is the last elf. Like, you know, could be 100% possible that she finds out that she is the last elf alive, and like, you know, and they're gonna be hard pressed to kill her because like she's dangerous. Yeah, I guess with your notes before it's too late, which is we're already at 11:32 because of my crazy butt. But I will shut up now and let you do the rest of the talking.
At 18, I was just thinking about this because I think Flame might be Frieren's first experience with a human. And I also noticed in this anime that Frieren has a she has this trait where like certain key people in her life are really, really foundational for her. Like they really seem to shape how she lives her life from that day forward. And I would point out that, with that in mind, I'd point out that when she talks, at one point she talks to Flame as if like she's sort of like an equal, or maybe even close, you know, on her way to becoming a friend. And she says Flame, and then Flame shoots right back like, "You mean master?" And I wonder if that like that process with her, because I mean she's almost like Flame is almost like autistic about this sometimes. Like I wonder if that like left an impression on her that that's how people are. So as a result of that, she was kind of distant with the party that she met afterwards. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I just think she's awkward. I don't know. Like, I don't know if calling her interactions with people autistic is the right word. Because I mean, with that in mind, if everybody acts, I mean, if you want to say like there are people out there who do act kind of like that with people, just in general. It's just really depending on like the interaction you have. But it's like to say that like you could call all the awkward people in the world autistic.
No, it's just a very like cause and effect way that she seems to view her interactions. Like she's like never seen. And again, this is where she's like, it seems to share some similarities with demons. Like she's sitting there and it's like she has no idea what people are like, almost. And then something happens and she says, "Oh yeah, that's true." You know what I mean? And then she kind of adjusts her opinion about things as things move along. Does that make sense to you? What I'm saying so far? Am I making sense?
I don't think so. But before you try to make sense of it, I just wanted to say, I mean, to answer your question about like how she interacted with her master, I feel like that whole interaction there with her saying, I think really what that was mostly of is I think she like she's teaching Frieren. She wants Frieren to show a little bit of respect towards her, because like straight out calling
Mhm.
her by her name is kind of a show of disrespect, even if Frieren doesn't know that. And again, it feeds into your idea that maybe she doesn't have experience with humans, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't. But it just to me, I feel like that's what it really was. Is more like you need to call me master because like that's what we are right now. I think later on she starts to allow no, because Fury keeps calling her master, so never mind. But
Mhm.
because I don't know if that had any real effect. Because here's the thing, Fern calls her Mistress Frieren, and Frieren doesn't seem to think anything of it. So if you think the whole master thing had that much an effect on her, you think she would have done that to Fern, but she hasn't. Not one bit. Not even back when Frieren, not even back when Fern was really young and learning. Fern even called her
Yeah,
Mistress there too.
but I was just thinking about like how I can't offhand think of another time that she's referred to anybody by name. Has she? I guess I can't think of a time off the top of my head that she's looked at Fern and said, "Hey, Fern," or something like
No,
that.
she said Fern.
It's she has
Yeah, she
okay.
said Fern.
Anyway, so I just got this vibe that like I'm like I wonder if that like since it was such a formative time in her life, like I was like I wonder if that like hit her in an important way. Like I wonder if she it doesn't have to be just one instance. Like it was probably something that happened whenever she said that, if she said it more than once. You know what I mean? But the idea that she would say like, hey, and so and she was like, no, 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 master. You know what I mean? Maybe wonder if like she was like, okay, with humans, the rule is, you know what I mean, that there's this boundary that you shouldn't cross, and and part of that boundary is, you look at people by their roles, and then it bled into her looking at Himmel for example. Is it Himmel? What is the priest's name?
Hider?
Hyder. And then she looked at the Hyder and she was like, okay, humans refer to each other by their roles a lot. So you are the corrupt priest. You know what I mean? For example. So I wonder if that like kind of bled into that, if not, in any way.
I think with him, I think really was just that he was a drunk. You see throughout their journeys the little bits and pieces that we do see of Frieren
Yeah.
with them, even back when they first joined. He was always
Mhm.
drunk. Like he always seemed to be drinking. Um he only stopped near the end of his life, but I feel like that was a part of it. I mean, I could see where you're going with it, that maybe some really weird interaction with Flamme caused her to start trying to, instead of calling people by their name. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think so. I just think that was just it. What it really came down to is because she understood that she was a student by force, that she was a student, that
Mhm.
she had to refer to her master by master. I mean, she even still refers to her by master even when she's dead. I guess people would just start
Yeah.
referring to him, but she still uses her name. It's not like she's afraid to use her name.
Yeah.
She uses it like she uses it especially with the when she's referring to Flame's like texts that aren't real. If anything, if you like, you would think she would still refer to them as masters fake tomes, but she doesn't.
It's not impossible. It was just a little like, let's put an earmark in that and see what happens kind of feeling about it. You know what I mean? I was like, I wonder if that like that impacted how she viewed how humans work. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when they die, she's like, why do I care so much about this? Like, you know what I mean? This person died, which is, I still keep going back to that point because like, at one point her master died, and wouldn't she have just been like, well, when my master died, I was crushed, so it makes sense that I'd be crushed when this person dies. But there's this like feeling that that's not how that went down. You know what I mean? Like, didn't why are you so surprised that you feel this way? This is not the first time that you've experienced loss. Like, your master died. Do you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that have bothered you as well?
I think there's a difference
Um,
though, because like, I want to say I know that her relationship with Himmel and Flamme are actually kind of similar. there's still a thing of like, I can't even fight this because now like, I was about to say that Flamme kind of came out of nowhere and ripped her from her home, but Himmel kind of did the exact same thing when he ran up on her.
Yeah, he's like, well, now I'm gonna kind of pick you, snap you up, and take you with me. And both times she's like, "Oh, is that how this is? Yeah, sure, let's do it." You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I
But
heard it that time. I can't stop laughing
sorry,
now.
I knew it was coming. I tried to talk. I knew it was coming. I tried to talk extra loud to cover it.
I'm not distracted. It's just so yeah, just find it funny. But
that's all right. But but there was that like sense there. You know what I mean? That like that she's just been snapped up, and she's like, "Oh, okay, this works the way the other one did." Like, someone comes up, they inform me about how I'm going to live my life, and we go from there. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I want to point out that like, okay, with Flamme, probably make an argument for that, but I feel like because like she still called Himmel by Himmel. She didn't have no special name for him. She didn't have no special name for Eisen. She only had a special name for Hyder. And she didn't seem to care that much about how they referred to her. Like, the only similarity, just like there's some similarities between her, like Himmel and Flamme, but Himmel seemed to be a lot more caring towards her. Flamme seemed to be more distant, like kind of caring, but also not like getting attachment too much to her. Like, she cared that whatever she taught her because she made sure she taught Frieren correctly. Told her to keep her magic suppressed for as long as she was living. Teaching her whatnot. But it seemed like Himmel cared more about her as a person because he did ask her questions, and he even asked like, "Why do you like magic so much?" And it's like, and according to Frieren herself, she collects magic because Himmel told her magic was pretty. Like, Flamme only like said you're capable of a lot of good things. How about I teach you? And like, on top of that, before
There's got to
Frieren
be
even
part of her
left,
that was like, "Oh yeah, Master told me magic was pretty too." You know,
but did she?
she taught her to cast spells that create fields of flowers.
I don't think she said that her magic was pretty. Himmel did that, but
No, but do you understand how how her last memory of her master was filling a field up with flowers? Do you know what I mean? And then they find her, and she's sitting there collecting flowers at the time that they find her. So there's a sense that, you know what I mean, like that she thought flowers were worthwhile in some way, and most people who think flowers are worthwhile think that they're pretty. So when he came up and he said like, "Oh hey, look at you, like minding your own business," you know what I mean, "I'm going to snap you up and you're going to come with us and fight demons," she's like, "Huh, that's like pretty similar to the last person that showed up when I was there and told me that now I'm going to take you and teach you, pretty magic and how to fight demons."
well, I mean, he didn't exactly yank her. He kind of asked her, and then made a point of like he could see that she's special, and she took that as a compliment, and then she went along. It wasn't like he yanked her like Flamme did. I understand what you're trying to say. I'm just saying that there are some differences between how Himmel got her versus how Flamme got her.
There's some differences, of course, because it'd be really stupid storytelling if there wasn't. But she surely,
But like Flamme did kind of just
like, she surely, like, sort of, probably in her mind registered that there's some stuff about this that's similar.
I guess what I'm trying to say, I don't think her indifference to Himmel, well, her indifference to Flamme, and then to her and her at first indifference to Himmel's death are related, at least in my mind. Because like, I mean, granted, yeah, she should have felt something for her master, but I feel like there was a difference there that it just isn't there yet. That's why part of me feels like I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fact that, to me, I'm under the impression that maybe Frieren had some feelings for Himmel, but didn't realize it until it was too late. And a part of her pain is probably realizing that maybe she had something. She probably felt something for him and didn't realize it until it was way too late. And she wants to kind of quote unquote explore that with him dead now. But
Mm.
that's just my own headcanon. That's why I don't really say much
But
about it.
if she did see similarities at the beginning, and she didn't see similarities at the end, that must have really rocked her because, like again, like she feels this sense of like this seems different. You know what I mean? When she when he dies, so, which in my opinion implies that maybe she didn't quite feel the exact same way about her master. So that must have sat with her, like that she was like, given the similarities of the two situations, she must have been, oh, this is like the same thing. And then everything went by, and she, in her mind, she was like so fixated on the fact that this is the same thing that when suddenly she was, and it was too late to do anything about it, she realized, hey, wait a minute, this was not the same thing at all. Like, it was too late to do anything about it. And she's like, well, the only way to fix this is to do the whole thing again. Do you know what I mean? So then she kind of like got up and just said, well, we're going to just track the same trek again, and I'm going to visit everything along the way and see if I can figure out what was different about this. There's a certain disconnect with how people work in that. You know what I mean? If you look at it the way that I'm looking at it, which you don't have to do, but it's one way of looking at it, there's a certain sense of disconnect between in there that like between the way this elf girl works and everybody else, and almost like a parallel like with the demon, like when the demon like when they tried to teach the demon about um how people work, the demon was really struggling with it, and it sort of feels like maybe without the urge to kill things, like Frieren has a relatable struggle understanding people too.
I don't really got much more to say. I mean, I hear you. I think like I think for me it's like I just like, I know you're not saying she is autistic. I'm just saying like I don't know, fighting with that word and comparing because she's just awkward.
We can drop the word autistic, but it just we can shift over to not unlike a demon struggle to understand how people work without that tendency to eat children. You know what I mean?
No, you still use it. And just like for me, it's like I personally I don't prefer like because I understand it's an actual diagnosis, but regardless of everything, I don't know. I mean, at the same time, I feel like there's definitely some similarities, but for me, it's like I'm finding it difficult to really compare both her and I mean both Himmel and her. While while there are definitely similarities, I just don't know. I feel there's something different, especially like I don't know. Like a part of me feels like she had some closure with Flamme, the kind of closure she didn't have with Himmel. And that's why a part of me feels like she must have. She doesn't know it yet, but I guess she might actually have fallen in love with him, because she does make mention later on with the whole elf thing of like how she said that she's never really felt the urge to procreate. And I did think that was an odd thing just to yell out loud in front of strangers, even Fern and Stark. It just seemed kind of weird to say that out loud. I get that
Unless she struggled to understand how humans work.
what's elf procreation got to do with humans working? Wait, what? I'm sorry, did I miss something?
She doesn't understand how people work. Like she really struggles with how people work. Like so, it makes sense that she wouldn't understand that that was taboo. Like she can't even wrap her mind around the fact that 50 years is a big deal to human beings.
I mean, I think I'm not saying that she doesn't understand how humans work, because she kind of came out and said that right before her journey to like with Fern and stuff like that. I'm just saying like in like in general, with her with her situation with Himmel,
Yeah.
to me in my own mind and the way I'm making sense of it seems drastically different enough to not be the same thing. Because like to me, it's like I think she has closure with Flamme, she just doesn't have it with Himmel, and maybe some of that has to do with her inability to figure out the human being, human genome, whatever like that you want to call it.
Mhm.
And her desire to want to talk to him again is going to help her with that. But a part of me feels like I think what she's mistaking as her inability to understand humans, because I'm honestly going to sit there and say she probably understands humans more than she thinks, but she's unable to parse it in her own brain, uh, because of her inability to determine time. Because again, she is an entity that will live for thousands of years, not much matters to her.
Yeah.
I think it just
All
seems
right.
like it's
With
her love.
go ahead.
This was like ultimately, I think she might be in love with him. She doesn't know yet, and she'll find out when she meets him again. That's basically what I was trying to get to. Sorry.
Okay. With just 9 minutes before midnight, let me blast through and see if there's any other stuff I have on here. We've talked about a lot of it, I think, but I can't tell you for sure how much we have to go. So give me a second. Flamma coined the term demon. She was the first one to use the term, which was kind of fun. The first demon that we can confirm that Frieren killed is Basalt, that general of the Demon King's army. They gave it a name, and that made me think that it was worth trying to remember its name, so I just kind of wrote it down in my notes. This one's just a little comment. Sometimes I write comments just for myself because I don't know, I don't know why I do it, but sometimes I write something more for myself than for you. But I wrote, Flam is all about that sweet, sweet genocide. At 2:45, it looks like the demon is talking to buy time while he recovers, because he's just sitting there like shooting the breeze with Fern, and then she talks to her for a second, but Fern isn't really humoring the conversation. So when it goes a direction that she doesn't like, she just blows up. She finishes the job. But I was thinking that the demon wasn't mortally wounded until the second shot. Like the first shot was going to take him a really long time to recover from, but it was going to be the second shot that finished him off. I thought that it was fun that we got to see the fight between Fern and that demon. And then afterwards, we learn information that makes that fight completely different. Like you almost want to go rewatch the fight now that you understand it differently. Because the second time around, you realize that the whole time she was fighting him, she was concealing her mana. In the beginning, I was thinking about the fight. I was believing what the demon said. And he's like, she's weaker than me, but she's faster than me. And he's like, what I'm going to have to do to win this fight is wear her down. So he starts trying to wear her down. And then he gets a shot. She does a shot to him. And he thinks, I might not be able to do this. I might not be able to wear her down. I've got to I've got to, force my hand a little bit here. So then he changes his thing. We get to see, without knowing that Fern is suppressing her mana, a whole fight from the demon's perspective, without knowing that she's doing her mana. So we get this without being in on the joke. We get this whole fight where we're in there and we're keeping score the way he is and thinking about the way he is and thinking, oh my God, Fern is putting up a lot of shields, and I know those drain her mana fast. This is not good for her. She's sort of in trouble. You know what I mean? And then because he really thinks that she's going to wear out soon, and that must be true. And then later we find out that she wasn't in trouble at all. You know what I mean? Or didn't. It's likely that she wasn't in trouble at all. That she'd been suppressing her mana, and his confidence was built around the idea that he didn't understand how powerful she was. So I like that the story built it that way, that you can appreciate that fight twice in that sense. It's funny how the demons are always so sure of themselves, even when they're being told exactly by their enemy what's going on and why they're going to win. Both Fern and Frieren have had conversations with the demons where they're basically, this is what I'm doing, word for word, and this is why it's going to work to kill you. And the demons are no, I'm not doing a single thing differently. Fuck you. I'm still going to win, and you're wrong. And what you're telling me has no bearing on anything that I care about. I just think that's funny. So, let's see. Oh, it was such a bad call. Given that I thought that the demon was trying to buy time, I just thought it was such a bad call that he went ahead and called her a disgrace. Really, I mean, I know that they don't understand people very well, but like, just what a silly thing to do, like to be like so unhelpful. Do you know what I mean? In his own thing. Like we think they evolved to understand how people work. So you would think that their imitation of people and that's designed specifically around helping them survive would not be in large part poking the bear. You know what I mean? But apparently they're poking the fuck out of the bear.
I would have real quick, and I was gonna shut up. Like I mean,
no, you're fine.
You're kind of right. You're kind of right. No, they evolved to deceive humans. They actually outright say that. They only evolved to deceive them. They weren't trying to understand them at all. But he said something about Fern. Oh no, it wasn't. He didn't call Fern a disgrace. He called Frieren. I'm not too sure if you knew that.
Well, I thought he was kind of implying that they were both a disgrace for hiding their mana.
No, he literally just called Frieren a disgrace. And you know he was talking about Frieren because when Fern responds, she just says like, "Oh, she knows that already." You don't have to tell her twice. You know, it sounds like Frieren is not happy about her having to, But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Either way, like you would think that he would be saying the kind of things that would make it more likely that he lives. You know what I mean? So,
smart, they're beasts. Sorry.
You're right. But even then, you're just like, dude, if your whole survival strategy and your whole like predatory strategy is designed around imitating people, you would think it would at least be effective. Do you know what I mean?
This is why I'm
and
sorry,
I get it.
I keep on being
no,
smart.
I get it. I
keep on being smart. It's just I wanted some more, and I watched this episode, and all I got was fodder. That's all I could see. Even Aura, but whatever.
I hear you. Anyway, so the other side note that I had about that, like, when she blasted a hole in him and she's like having a conversation with him, like, don't like demons need lungs to talk? Like, I get that maybe they're not like one-to-one the same anatomy as a human, but like, given that they vaguely resemble a human, you like to think that their lungs are probably somewhere in their torso, and that now they're missing at least one of their lungs. Like, how are they even having that conversation? I know the answer is it's a cartoon, but like, I still couldn't help but notice that. I was curious when Frieren meets Flamma. I was like, why did she just not answer her? Why did she just ignore her? I didn't know if she was like trying to bide her time to gain like information about Flamma, or what. Do you know what I mean? Like if she was like shell shocked from the experience or something like that. But when Flamma comes up and she's politely trying to talk to her, like Frieren doesn't even answer her at all. And again, she doesn't seem to know anything about what it is to interact with humans. But that's got to be at least somewhat, given that she knows how to talk. Like you would think that she's at least met other creatures that speak. You know what I mean? So I wondered about that. I'm like,
she's a child. Well, I don't know if she's a child at this point, but you wouldn't speak to somebody that you don't recognize.
She's 1,000 years old.
Not that
at least. Yeah, you're right. So she's, well, I mean, and at this time she is. So she could just be a child, but like, I didn't get stranger danger from that. You know what I mean? Like, I got that she just wasn't talking to him. The only thing I could think of is that she hadn't made up her mind if it was a demon or not, and she wasn't going to talk to demons because demons lie. Or if she was shell shocked, or if like she wasn't ready to give up any information about herself until she understood the situation a little more, or if she was just spending all of her energy analyzing her to see what she could learn about her, like if she was just like sensing her mana and evaluating her, because obviously she comes back with some pretty good insights about her power level, and we don't know how she figured out that she was more powerful. You know what I mean?
I think that's why she didn't.
Like, I don't know
much.
what she did to make that happen. Do you know what I mean? But somehow she ascertained that this person was powerful. You know?
I mean, we'll probably learn a little bit about how she knew, but at the same time, it's like she could tell. She said she had a hunch, and that's the same thing that Himmel told her. I'm just saying. I feel like, you know, I don't think that's unrealistic.
Oh, you're right, dude. There's so many similarities between those two first encounters.
But like at the same time, it's like I don't like your whole. I think maybe you're looking too much into Frieren's not talking to her, because this is the thing. Regardless of her age, whatever, you know, 500, 300, whatever. If I was Frieren, I wouldn't talk to some strange lady with red hair that just happened to walk through my town after I obliterated half of it with demons, and she's just talking to me about demons. Like, I feel like her non-response, while kind of weird, I will understand. Yeah, maybe she should have said something like, maybe leave me alone, but at the same time, it's like, part of me thinks, I don't think she knew whether to trust her, like you said earlier, or, you know, and I think she's trying to gauge, like, ultimately what's going on here, because she did just walk in, after a rampage, like on the ground after letting out a giant magic blast to take out the soul.
Apparently injured. They don't show the injuries, but they say that she had to recover from her injuries, so there's that going on too.
Like, Frieren used a lot of mana at that point, and like, I think she just didn't want to like get into trouble with another person just walking in after, because she also had her freaking staff too, and she was the strongest mage at the time of the village, and it was still up. I honestly don't think her response was really all that weird. What if I appreciate her talking to her? Yeah, but I think she did the right thing. I wouldn't talk to some random woman who just walked through my village. Because that's what Flame was a random woman who just happened to walk through her village.
Yeah. I guess it was a compelling little moment. It was a very loaded omission, and I found it interesting to explore.
I don't think she trusted her.
What?
I just don't think she trusted her.
Sure, nor should she. But I just thought it's a missable detail. Do you know what I mean? That she didn't say anything. Like, it's very easy to gloss that over and just be like, oh, that's sort of interesting, and like not think about it. But the more you think about it, the more ways you can slice it. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was interesting that there was so many different ways to think about why she decided not to talk to her at that moment. You know. Anyway.
Oh dang! I really threw you over time.
Do you think when the demons what?
I really threw you over time. Sorry.
That's all right. When the demons look at when the demons show up to surround them as they're leaving, do you think that the demons were lying about? This is just more like a fun question than anything, but do you think the demons were lying when they said, leave the elf girl and we'll let you live? Or do you think that was either like the truth and we have no interest in fighting you? Because we respect you because you have mana? Was it a ploy to separate the two of them so they'd be easier to kill? Or I don't know. I wondered about that, or did they just think she was nothing? But if they thought there was nothing, why would they just not bother to like throw her into the kill pile? Like, they like to kill things, so like why? The only reason I could think of that they decided not to kill her is that they thought she had a respectable amount of mana, but that doesn't make any sense because she's hidden like 90% plus of her mana. So it's hard to like. I had trouble processing what went into the decision to of the demons to say that, like if they were actually going to let her go, or if it was just like them fucking with her to like make their life easier or something. But the fact that they're arrogant and prideful makes me feel like they should, their character as a character would think that there was no need to separate them, that they're so much more powerful than them, that there's no need to do that at all. So I didn't get that moment, like why the demons offered not to kill them both.
Well, this is some app music to talk about this as we bring the podcast to the close. I mean,
you got to close the podcast because I've got like a lot more still.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I've got like 5 or 6 more things.
We can get through them then. I just want to. What I want to say is to the one question you posed. Um,
Uh-huh.
uh, like I think they were going to let her go, and I only say that because like they, at least the woman demon in the middle of all of them, unless they were all women, I don't really know. I couldn't tell. Um, she just flat out lets her know that, you know, they just have a they have an order to kill all the elves, and she said that, like, you know, the humans weren't on the list of things to kill, so she'd be willing to like let you go. On top of that, part of the reason she didn't was because, like, you know, she didn't seem threatening, so she didn't want to bother.
That's the fact that she didn't seem threatening is the exact reason why the demons have no reason to let her go. Like there's no tactical reason to do it, and they're not kind. So like, why would they bother?
Who's to say that letting her go was kind?
Um,
They just wanted to get the elf girl is all they really wanted. I get what you're saying, and I thought about that after as it was happening. But I think again they were only they follow rules as far as we can tell. I mean, you said they have a society, like they have their king, whoever it was, I think it was the demon king, told them to kill elves. And I guess it sounded like maybe he was only after the elves in at the same time. So if they ran across anything else, like, you know, because like, I mean, your idea, I mean, what you're saying is, you know, rightly so, but at the same time that means everything must have gotten killed. It wouldn't just be, they wouldn't just leave everything else alone and just kill the humans and the elves unless they were told to.
okay, counterpoint. Flame says that until they sensed their mana, they were just going to come in and kill them both. So at one point, they were like, I'm going to kill them both. And then, unless Flame's wrong, which is not impossible, but seems pointless to build that into the story if she's just wrong. Unless Flame's wrong, they changed their mind about killing them both when they saw that she had magic. And yet, they didn't think that she had enough magic to matter. So what the fuck? You know what I mean? If you have just enough magic to be magical, but not enough that we can respect you, why are they bothering to change their mind about why are they like, no, abort mission, we're not going to kill them after all?
But she also says later on about demon society, they view everything as a class system of mana. If they have this system in their society, I'm gonna call it a society, their society, you know, and they don't bother with the rabble, she would be considered rabble, even though they don't know how much mana she actually does pose. They believe she has very little. And at least in my thought process of being a demon, regardless of my bloodthirst, you know, because they've killed an entire village of demons by this point. I mean, of elves. They're only, you know, doing what they were told. And it sounds like whoever told them to do this really has some like weight. Because like you said before, I mean, if it also didn't matter, but to me, it's like, I think honestly, the Demon King, whoever told them this, has enough weight to tell them to do anything. So if that means only kill the elves, and they're very literal, and I mean literal, then yeah, kill the elves only means kill the elves. It doesn't mean kill anything else.
It doesn't mean don't kill other things, though. You know, and like I said, they were gonna before they changed their mind. Anyway, at 10-12, I know Frieren is short, but man, Flamen is tall. 1203, they don't conceal their mana because it's a status symbol. It was weird little plot hole. They say that it's said that they don't, and this is again, like, it feeds on my little suspicion that maybe they don't know as much about demons as they think they do. Flame teaches Frieren that demons don't conceal their mana. They can't afford to because it's a status symbol and yada yada yada. However, we see that Lugner, the one that attacked them earlier, did conceal his mana, and that's how he snuck up on them.
You're forgetting a little poignant part about that. She only says that they can't afford to. She never said that they couldn't.
No, I said they don't. They said they don't conceal their mana.
That doesn't mean that they. That still doesn't mean that they couldn't. or that they like they
I know, but
won't.
it's just in the same episode or the next episode after one of them, a big plot point is that they ambushed her and by concealing their mana. It's directly stated that they don't do that. So, like I said, from a storytelling point, for a story that is fairly well constructed and that I respect so far, the way that I try to think of the best case scenario for why this exists would be because this exists because there's something. I feel like it's an intentional disconnect, not a plot hole. I think that they're intentionally showing you that they don't know everything they think they know about these guys yet.
What I want to point out too is like Lugner. I mean, Lugner did suppress his mana, but he only did that after he says, "Oh, you think you're the only ones that can do that?" I don't feel like Flame is saying that they can't or won't, like, or just flat out don't. Again, it's like in their society, they have to have their mana out. It's not like they're in demon society at this point. They're in the freaking real world dealing with human beings. I don't think what Flame was insinuating is that they will never, under no circumstances, suppress their mana.
I think Fern understands the demons differently and better than Frieren does. That's my thought here.
I still don't know if Fern, because like I don't know where you're getting Fern understands them.
I differently and better. I think that Fern doesn't think that they're mindless beasts, and I think that she believes that she's withdrawn. She doesn't talk about it a ton, but I think Fern maintains that there's a little more humanity to them than I think she still thinks they're weaponizing their existence in every way, shape, and form. But I think that she sees them as more capable of social interaction and human-like traits than Frieren does. And I think that her willingness to feel that, which is because she's not tainted by the fact that these things have wiped out her people, which is a perfectly good reason to not be happy about them. But I think that it's possible that Fern's lack of direct personal pain association with what the demons do from like a personal experience has given her a more cool-headed and impartial ability to understand like what they're like and what's going on. Okay, we don't have time to get into it much more than that. 1657, this is another one of those notes to myself. I thought it was kind of funny that for reasons that are just completely unexplained, the snowman that Frieren builds has 3 arms. They just do it. They just I know that they're trying to like show that this is a rich and varied adventure that she's been on in the meantime, but like I just thought it was kind of silly in a good way that they just show that she built a stone for no reason that we're going to tell you about. There's just a snowman here. She probably built it because it's right next to her camp, but it has 3 arms, and we don't know why, and we will never know why. And then when they're doing that same montage, they show that she sort of has her own appa or Totoro, depending on which one's your favorite. I thought that was kind of cute. We already talked about one of the images that they saw in that little flicker where they flashed a few images. The other ones were them fighting a red dragon, which I thought was interesting because we've fought a red dragon already in the series. Another one was they're fighting this towering demon-looking thing. Another one was the third one was fighting and injuring Aura. Like she's bloodied, and all 4 of them are like staying on top of her. The next one was they're standing on a cliff in like a dark, misty area looking forward at it. Like they've arrived at some great destination. They're looking out and taking it in. And then the final image is they're in the same mist heading to the Demon King's lair, and it's like this dark mist, and there's like a red moon in the background. I'm guessing those things happen in chronological order, and each one of their enemies is more perilous than the one before, but we're not really told exactly what's going on there. 2112, they point out that demons can measure mana with higher degrees of accuracy than Fern thought were possible at that point. Because she's like, oh, I know you're not disguising your mana because I don't feel it flickering. And then she's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that, you know? So I thought that was valuable to observe and make note of. 1,000 years in, and Friren's still learning new things about demons and what they're capable of. Another thing, just a little joke to myself, but like I couldn't help but think Uno reverse when she uses her power against her to make her kill herself. In my mind, I was thinking Uno reverse. And it's funny too because I saw it. Then I went to the Reddit thread to read more, and like 2 other people thought of the same thing. I guess it's kind of obvious, but I just thought it was funny. Another thing that I wrote to myself just as a funny note is that there's definitely an aura farming joke here somewhere, but I couldn't think of the best way to put it together. But Frieren is definitely aura farming. Flammer likes to do permanent things. And I know I already said this earlier, but like it was just interesting to me how Flamma comes up to her and says, you know, have you learned to love magic? And she's like, sort of. And that I remembered her having the same conversation with Fern earlier. And that's everything I got. So I didn't think I had a lot of notes, but apparently I had a decent amount.
I mean, really quick, just like on a side note, I still don't think that like there was a plot hole with the demons and I feel like there is a legitimate.
I don't think it's a plot hole. I think it's a hint of what's to come.
Not even that. I just feel like I don't think like when Fama was explaining, it wasn't like her not understanding. I feel like it was just like, but she'd seen what they do, and it's like I still don't think her saying that they don't because they haven't done it doesn't mean that they won't do it. Like I feel like even with the idea that they do it in Demon Society, just because like one decided to utilize a skill that they don't like doing. I mean, it even sounds like he didn't enjoy hiding his mana, just sneak up on them. He goes out of his way to call them like deceiving, and even the whole idea of deceit kind of just starts running through this episode about like having to, humans using trickery to fight demons. It's just like he did it
because his pride was hurt, because he has emotions that impact his actions. He's just not a mechanical predatory thing.
I don't buy that either. I'm sorry. I know what I'm saying is contradictory to each other, but it's like they've done too much at this point to say that this is what they are. Until they prove otherwise, to me it's like none of these demons have actually done enough yet in my eyes.
This is more of a they are what they say they are, and also this. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's like they're what they say they are and more.
I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna try to. I said this before, even before here. I did episode. I'm gonna try to keep an open mind, but I'm still disappointed. I wanted more from this race but species they throw into the universe, and so far it's like to me they've been a big flat nothing. Every single one of them has died. Nothing. It was a big nothing burger. Like I thought Aura was gonna be something, and nope, she was a big nothing. I get that she's not supposed to be as strong as Frieren, but I didn't get anything from her. It's basically like and I feel like I'm gonna keep feeling this way.
I feel like the story format is a little bit like Trigun. If you remember, like Trigun like starts out lighthearted and almost like a comedy, and it gets slowly more serious and dangerous as the series goes. I feel like that's what we're building up here. Like it starts out lighthearted, and in this case, more like lighthearted and philosophical. And the enemies are things that aren't dangerous to us, that she sort of takes an academic interest in. And I think I think Frieren is going to get darker and more angry as the series goes, and I think the enemies are going to get more dangerous. Although I can't figure out who is going to be dangerous because, like, haven't we seen haven't we seen like a high-ranking part of the enemies like army now? Like, she seems like she's pretty high up on the echelon of anything that might have survived the Demon King's purge.
There's something.
So
There's
I
a
don't
character.
know.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You had a train of thought. I don't want to ruin it. I already did, but go ahead.
No, it wasn't like a fantastic train of thought. It felt like we've already kind of established what's going on with the Demon King's purge, and I'm not sure what's left to introduce to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Demon King is dead. She seemed to be one of his like big like servants that like somehow made it through. She got injured and apparently escaped somehow. And it's just like, so what's next? Like, isn't that pretty much it? Like, you've killed the big bad a while ago, like before the story even started, and here you've got a big bad that was like probably the biggest bad that's left. So are we moving on from demons after this? Which doesn't make sense because you're kind of going into demon country. You're going into the demon's area, so you would think that that's where all of the remaining bits of his army are lingering. Or if that's not the case, like, I don't know what's coming up next in the story. It feels very open-ended and vague.
I mean, all I want is that there is a character that we have. Just plenty of characters in the intro we haven't seen. There's a human knight that, for whatever reason, hasn't made an appearance yet in the intro. And then there's that little girl that has like long ears, in the intro too, that we haven't seen. And I only bring attention to her as a potential antagonist because there is a scene. You can go and scrub the intro, but there's a scene. There's just like one scene and she's in a chair, grinning really evilly. It's very unsettling, and it almost feels like they want you to see her for some really weird reason, like right in there. Like, they don't hide her; she's just there, and it's like it's clear that they're doing something with. I don't know who this character is. I think I've seen like an older version of her. I think somewhere online. I don't really know her name. Because I think if maybe this is where they're going, and she might be a demon. Like, again, you say demon country. We're probably not done with the demons. Like, but it's like, again, it's like I don't think any of Demon King's army is alive. I find that hard to believe. But if they are alive, then shoot. But maybe that's where they're going. Is they're going to show this new character? Maybe Frieren's going to run up on her at some point, and there's going to be like a whole like she's not threatening at first, and then later on she shows up and she's extremely threatening. There
sure could be. Yeah.
But with that, we are really late over time, and part of that is my fault. We're almost 30 minutes over. As we let Mr. Bashar go to sleep, next week we will be reviewing.
Did you just dox me?
Oh shoot! I know you're joking, but
Sure,
at the same time, that was my bad. Mr. Spear.
That's all right.
Mr. Spear goes to bed. Next week we're reviewing the My Hero Academia extra episode more. Looking forward to it. I saw a screenshot of Uraraka and Deku together. I don't know what that means, but I've seen there's like, a lot of people are freaking out over it, so
maybe the whole episode will just be them having sex or something. I'd be down for that.
I've seen a lot of images. It's not sex images, but I've seen a lot of images of like a lot of Class 1A older. Even like Muriel makes an appearance apparently at some point from the images I've seen. I've been wanting to watch it, all because Twitter has been nothing but like a cesspool of, hey, look at this. But with that, I also want to bring up that I'm not sure if you got what I said. At some point, I know I was reading somewhere that apparently, I don't know if it's a music video or not, but there's an animation specifically about Eri coming out apparently. I do not know what it's about. I know it's something about being a hero too, I think. So I don't know if it's a music video with Eri older or whatnot. But for people who want to look at that too, I'm not sure. They haven't given a release date, so probably next year if I had to take a guess. If they're just now drafting it together. So, but yeah, next week, My Hero Academia extra more. We will take a break from Frieren, but we'll be right back the following week. I just feel like this is the best place to put it because like we're episode 10, Aura's dead, so maybe it's best to just to do it in the middle, right? Like, you know, where they usually cliffhang us during modern, you know, during old time anime, where
Mhm.
something happens and then they just show us a rerun. But this time we're showing a new episode of a different show. But with that, good night.
Good night, everybody.